For my human rights report card, I decided to study the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's in the center of Africa and has an incredibly large... I also chose a lot of important and moving photos to be the backgrounds of my site. So as you can see behind the title, there's a picture of a riot going on, and riots are a huge part of the daily life of a Congolese person, and I'll get more into that when I discuss human rights. There are a lot of really interesting facts about Congo, and as you can see in the background, there's a nice picture of Africa and where the Democratic Republic of Congo is located. It's huge in comparison to a lot of African regions. It has a population of 56.9 million and a population growth rate at 3.3%. The life expectancy at birth is 59.2 years. They have a semi-presidential system, but it's incredibly corrupt, and they don't really have any sort of democracy there, more just a front of democracy. Their unemployment rate is 3.7%. And they are a huge center for agricultural riches, for a lot of different resources, which makes the violence escalate, especially in the east. So they have exports such as gold, diamonds, copper, zinc, tin, oil, coffee, and then they have the major industries that draw from those resources like mining of cobalt, gold, diamonds, etc., as well as a lot of agricultural products like plantains, maize, rice, tobacco, coffee, sugar, and many more. And this huge amount of resources really affects the Congolese state and is kind of the root of all the human rights issues that are happening there and why they are continuing rather than being solved. The Congo has a very rocky and sad history. It was a Belgian colony and gained independence in 1960, and you can still see the lasting effects of colonization. After 1960, Joseph Mobutu seized power and created a dictatorship. He named the Democratic Republic of Congo Zaire, and he lasted as dictator for a long time until the presidential elections, and Joseph Kabila was elected, but then he was murdered, and the new president, his son, succeeded him. So instead of an actual democracy, it turned into nepotism. And this really unstable political background has really harmed the Congolese state. It hasn't let the people adjust to a stable government, a stable living situation, and the government has never really been strong enough to get rid of the violence and to establish stronger human rights. And so if we were able to have the turnover of a stronger political party, a lot of things for the Congo would change. They also have allowed a lot of international sources or rebel groups to take control of the vast amount of resources, which is also incredibly problematic for the Congo. It means that there's a lot of violence, a lot of competition, a lot of corruption. And all of that history has led to a state that has an incredibly terrible situation on their hands right now, and it's not looking like things are going to get better in the near future. And millions have died because of the violence and extreme unrest in the Congo. From all of the countries that I've studied through my career in history studying social justice, I've never seen anything like the human rights issues that take place in the Democratic Republic of Congo. To start off, there's the violation of democracy, which I just spoke to. Joseph Kabila, right now, he is trying to prevent presidential elections from taking place and be able to change legislation so that he can have a third term. He's an incredibly corrupt and frankly terrible president. He doesn't look out for the people. Instead, he just wants to make more money. And so to fix this problem, they were able to usher in a new creative president who was actually looking out for the people. It would mean a huge deal for the Congo and for its future. The next issue is the refugee crisis that has stemmed from continued violence. There is so much violence going on in the Congo that families are just forced out of the Congo in order to survive. Villages are taken over, burned down by these incredibly intense, violent rebel groups. It also has stemmed a refugee crisis because people just don't have resources to live. A lot of people are starving. A lot of people have no access to health care, and so they're fleeing to countries surrounding the Democratic Republic of Congo in order to get some sort of safety and some sort of semblance of a normal life that isn't just stricken with violence. The third issue is rape. Rape is a huge problem in the Congo, as the Sri Lankan author stated when she came and visited Polly. During a wartime, women's bodies are used as a battleground, and this is incredibly true because so many people are raped during the Congo. It's just seen as something that the soldiers on all sides do, and there's no respect or no awareness about the fact that rape is incredibly wrong and needs to disappear. And so there are 48 women raped every hour, which is an incredibly high rate, and women just don't have the access to medical care afterwards, and they aren't able to speak out and say this is what happened and this was wrong. There are a lot of other human rights issues, but these are three main ones that I wanted to highlight. One good thing about the Democratic Republic of Congo is that it's getting a lot of publicity and people are interested in following what's happening. There are a lot of updates about human rights issues, about the presidential election, and about funding that's happening. So here you can see thousands flee Congo, an escalating refugee crisis. Kabila will not seek re-election in DRC. That was a big controversy, and he came out claiming that, but it's still all up in the air. Then there's also kidnappings of a priest, and then the Congo rejecting UN aid effort. So here are some images that I selected that I thought gave a good overview of the Congo and showed the daily lives of people. There's a huge UN peacekeeping force, the largest ever, and this picture illustrates people walking with UN peacekeepers, and you can see a sort of safe haven that they've tried to create in a lot of children. This next photo depicts the living conditions in the Democratic Republic of Congo. As you can see, people have been thrown out of their villages, which have been burned down, destroyed, and so they're all living at encampments together with barely any food supplies, kind of just the clothing on their backs, and people just packed together. Then this last photo is of NGO volunteers. There are a lot of good NGOs in the Democratic Republic of Congo that are trying to help the people, and I'll speak more to that later. So on this page I've highlighted 3 NGOs that I found in research. There's CARE, World Vision, and ZOA. All of them focus on different problems in the Democratic Republic of Congo, whether that be food security, women's rights, and just helping the people with their daily lives. And NGOs are really important to the Democratic Republic of Congo. So in conclusion, like I said at the beginning, I gave the DRC human rights grade of an F because they just really have no human rights, no recognition of what the human rights should be, and the government is incredibly unstable. There are rebel groups that are terrorizing, especially the eastern regions, that are flowing all around the Congo. They have the aftermath of the Rwandan genocide affecting their people, and really, I think the first step to creating a safer Congo is with a good president, somebody who's going to establish a politically stable environment and create some good, meaningful action. Thank you.